Hi, I'm Maureen. This is Flow and Restored Yoga. It's a combination class of gentle Vinyasa Flow that leads into restorative yoga. The Vinyasa Flow should be accessible to all levels. The main thing you need is a mat, and I've been working on trying to offer you restorative poses that don't require as many props as you would find at the studio. So today, all you need beyond your mat is a big beach towel or big blanket that you fold in half. And we'll use that later for the restorative poses. All right. So let's just take a seat. Have a moment to center. Find just a little bit of gentle movement by rocking side to side. On your sit bones, feel those bones at the base of your hips. And by rocking back and forth, you're creating a little bit of space and a bit of a broader base. Moving your body gently, just as we arrive here on our mat, and kind of allow your body to rejoin you. And eventually, I'll invite you to come into some stillness in a cross-legged pose and invite you to draw your attention inward. One thing that can help with that is to lower your gaze to reduce distractions or even close your eyes. And then invite you to take a big, deep, exaggerated breath in. And a nice, big, audible exhale out. I'm doing that a couple of times. And think about a gathering in whatever has happened today with that inhale, and then with an exhale, just offering it out, releasing it, letting go where you can with that exhale. And then return to your normal breathing and tune your attention into your body, noticing where your body is connected and supported. So the base of your body, your sit bones, your thighs, ankles, and just feel held and supported there. Feel connected, stable. And then see if you can't, on an inhale, rise up out of that stable base. So let the spine lift up. Draw your shoulder blades lightly together on your back. And check in for the alignment of your ears over your shoulders. You can move your head back and forth. We all have habitual postural positions, and so we try to let go of those and we try to come into alignment. Zoom your awareness into your breath now. Taking notice of the edge of your nostrils, the gateway for the breath to enter your body. Feel the breath brush up against your nostrils and pass through your throat into your lungs. Just paying attention to something we take so much for granted every moment, every day. This breath keeps flowing, keeps animating our bodies. Just allow your awareness now to follow the breath all the way, as it enters the body. Follow the breath as you're able to within your body, and then let your awareness follow your breath out of your body. Try that one more time. When you finished your exhale, bring your hands to meet at your heart in Anjali Mudra. Take a moment and set an intention for this practice. A single word. What pops into your mind when I invite you to do this? An aspiration, something you want more of. And then I share a quote from the Bhagavad Gita, this ancient Indian text. On this path, effort never goes to waste, and there is no failure. Even a little effort towards spiritual awareness will protect you from the greatest fear, ease the greatest sorrow. Take a big, deep breath in. And an even deeper, longer, slower, smoother breath out. Release your hands to your thighs. Blink your eyes open. Let's boogie. Hands face forward. Inhale, arms out and up and lengthen through the spine. And exhale, palms face down as you lower. 2 more times. Let's warm up your body. Inhale, press down through sit bones. Lengthen through the spine. Lift your chin. And when you're ready to exhale, turn your palms away, spread your fingers out, and bring all that back right into your base. Last one. Inhale, gather, look up, receive, and exhale. Bring it in and let it go. Roll your shoulders up and back, just as much as feels good for you at this point. All right, now press your sit bones into the ground. Draw your core up. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. Exhale, right hand down to the ground and tilt to the right. Let this feel good. Let the side bend warm up your left side of your body. Inhale, arms meet up overhead. Exhale, left hand touches the ground, side bend to the left. And make sure you keep this right hip connected to the ground to help that whole right side of your body open up. Inhale, lift up, and exhale, twist to the right. Arms descend across your body. Take time for another breath in and lift up tall through the spine, and then exhale, twist a little deeper. Use your hands for leverage to help you maximize the range of motion in your spine. Chin, head, neck go last. Pull your belly into the spine, lift your heart up, and release back up to center. Lift up long and tall. Exhale, twist to the left. Find the placement for your arms. Take time for an inhale to lift up tall through the spine. And exhale, twist, hold the pose, but keep your breath flowing. Keep adding to the pose by drawing your belly to the spine and lifting up through the heart, and then using your hands to help you maximize the range of motion in your spine, never coming into pain. And then release and come forward. And now single shoulder rolls, one at a time. You should have a bigger range of motion, lifting the shoulders up and rolling them back. Good. Bring the soles of the feet together. Press the toe mounds and the heels together and pull the toes apart, which should add just a little bit of tension. Now take your hands and bring them to interlace behind your sacrum. Keep your elbows bent and pull your shoulders back. Let this be a shoulder opener. And then lift your hands away from your sacrum. So in Badakanasana, hands are interlaced at your sacrum, elbows are bent, pull shoulders back, and then lift the hands away with your elbows still bent. And just pull the front body open. Go ahead and then lengthen through the arms and bring your torso forward with a bow. Just see where you get to. If it's really tight, you can give yourself a little break by walking feet away from the body. Just let this warm you up. It doesn't have to be your deepest. Never coming into pain. Just see where you can get to with this hip opening and a shoulder opening. Lifting those arms up as much as feels good. Bowing forward. And then eventually let it go. Hands come back to the body. I wanted to see if we could do a little twist. So adjusting your feet to a position that serves you, with your hands interlaced behind your back and with you bowing forward, I'm just going to invite you to lower the right shoulder towards your center for a little twist. Let this be gentle. Let this be a wake up for hips and torso now and shoulders, and then release and twist left shoulder towards the center. As you twist, look up to the right shoulder and bow forward, just to wherever you get to, and release and let it go. Now let's just come to standing, shake it out, and we're going to move right into our Vinyasa Flow. Shake everything out when you come to standing. Flick your fingers, shake your shoulders, shake your hips. Let everything be loose. Let the muscles be loose on the bone. And then coming to the top of your mat. If you have blocks, feel free to use them. If you don't have blocks, you could use full toilet paper rolls or books, or you go without. Vinyasa sun salutations are fluid movement, and each pose is connected by the breath. The first one will be slow and focus on alignment, and then we'll move with a little bit more pace. So find any movement in mountain pose before we begin. Rocking forward and backward on the feet is a good one to wake up the feet, spread them out. And then let your weight rest in your heels. Activate your thighs. Lift your core. Point your tailbone down. Open your heart. Check in that your ears are over your shoulders. Mountain pose. Call to mind your intention. And let that intention infuse the next set of movements. Inhale, arms out and up. Look up, Urdhva. Turn your palms away, hinge at the hips and bow. Add a little bend to the knees until your hamstrings warm up. And then inhale, lift up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana, hands on knees or shins or feet or the floor. And then exhale back to your forward fold, point the crown of the head down, and step the right foot back, straight leg lunge. Lower the hips, be light on fingertips, and try to shine the light of your heart forward. Your gaze is forward rather than looking down at your big toe. And then step the left foot back for downward facing dog. Take a few moments to warm up the body in this pose by deeply bending both knees and then lengthening them. Make sure that you spread your hands out wide like a starfish and press into the index finger and thumb to help protect your wrists. For this pose, you're looking to make an upside down V. You're not rounding in the low back. You're really pointing the tailbone up to the sky and pulling ribs towards thighs. On an inhale, shift forward into plank and squeeze everything. Draw your energy to your midline, square your shoulders. Let your neck be in alignment with your spine. Push your heels back, away from the body. And then you choose whether you let knees touch the ground and come down onto your belly with half plank, or if you come down in full plank, but keep elbows close to ribs as you exhale. And then tops of the feet touch, firm up your thighs. Inhale, lift your heart. Keep your elbows bent, pointing back towards your feet, and breathe. This is baby cobra. Exhale, lower, tuck your toes. Inhale, lift up the table. Exhale, lift your hips up, downward facing dog, and stay here and breathe. Find the pose. Really hinge deeply at your hips. And then feel your spine lengthen and your legs lengthen. A lot of benefits in this pose. We stay here for a couple of breaths. And then inhale, right leg long behind you, reach, stretch. Exhale, bend the knee, pull it to your ribs and step it forward. Back, we're making a circle. See if you can lower your hips, be light on fingertips and shine the light of your heart forward. And then press off back foot to join the front foot. You're in your forward fold. Uttanasana, lift the hips up, point the crown of the head down, and then pull your belly to the spine as you inhale. Reverse your arms out wide. All the way up, look up, hands touch, and exhale, release to your heart. Hands come down to the sides, and we continue. Inhale, arms out and up, look up. Exhale, fold, bow. Inhale, look up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Reach the crown of your head forward and lengthen your arms and your legs. Exhale, forward fold, and step the left foot back, straight leg lunge. Feel strong here, wake up the muscles, wake up the hips, and let's lift up. So press down through the front foot. This back leg is your strength. Lift up through the arms and exhale to goddess arms. Elbows are bent at 90 degrees. Spread your fingers out wide. Palms face forward. And breathe and balance and build your strength. Strong back, soft front, open heart. Lift hands up high. Exhale, hands float down. Frame the front foot. Step back, downward facing dog. And hold here and breathe here. Let the breath restore or slow your heart rate as we take your body between intensity and ease. Really tune into your own breath cycle. If it's different from mine, on your next inhale, shift forward to plank and squeeze everything. That'll help you stay in this pose. Really active core, active legs, active glutes. Press your heels away from the body. Broaden through your shoulders. And then we exhale to vinyasa, down to the ground, elbows close to ribs to build triceps. Release and form your foundation with your lower half of your body. As you lift the upper half of your body, maybe lengthen arms for full cobra. And exhale, lower. Tuck toes. And we meet in downward facing dog. You might come up through table, or you might come up through plank. And slow it down. Move with the momentum, and then slow the momentum. Breathe deeply. Let the breath be your tool, your technique for bringing you back to home base. And then inhale, lift the left leg long behind you, reach along. Exhale, bend the knee. Pull it to your ribs and step it forward. Take as many steps as you need to. That's a big transition. Be light on fingertips. Activate the power of your legs and hips and rise up. Lift arms up if that's all right. You could always put arms out to a T to give yourself a little bit more stability. Strong, long back leg, not a bent knee. Pull your belly in and exhale, goddess arms. 90-degree bend in the elbow. Pull the shoulder blades together. Breathe. Lift arms up. Exhale, float arms down. Press off back foot to join the front foot. Uttanasana, forward fold. Lift up through the hips. Point the crown of the head down. Pull your belly to your spine and inhale, lift up. All the way up, look up. Hands touch. Exhale, release. Hands to your hips, breath in, breath out. And we'll go one more time. Inhale, arms out and up. Look up. Exhale, bow. Bow to yourself. Bow to your practice. Inhale, lift up halfway. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward fold. And step the right foot back, straight leg lunge. Find the pose. Strengthen and rely on the legs as you spin the back foot to fully connect with the earth. We're preparing to rise up, straighten the front leg, lift up, and windmill arms out wide. We're coming into triangle pose. Keep your belly lifted, keep your heart lifted. Both legs are straight. Front toes are pointed towards the short edge of your mat. And then windmill towards the front leg. Keep both legs straight. And just tune in, see where you get to. This hand can touch the ground if it can, your knee, your shin, wherever you get to, but keep your heart open to the long edge of your mat. And if it doesn't feel good to have that upper arm, you can put it at your hip. And breathe. Remember this pose because we're going to do it in a supportive version and restorative section of this class. Inhale, lift up. To come back, pivot onto the ball of the back foot, bend the front knee. Right hand meets left hand. Hands come down to frame the front foot, and you step back, downward facing dog. Stay here, breathe deeply. Let your heart rate slow. On an inhale, shift forward into plank and squeeze everything. Help yourself, support yourself, use your muscles. Really draw your energy to the midline. And then we exhale, lower vinyasa down to the ground. To inhale, lift up into your back bend. Stretch, open, exhale, lower. And we press up to meet in downward facing dog and pause again. Come deeper into this pose. Let your heels go a little closer towards the earth. Lift up through the hips. Push the weight of your hips back towards your heels. And then on an inhale, your right leg rises long behind you. Exhale, bend the knee. Step it forward. Straight leg lunge. Spin the ball or spin the whole back foot to connect with the earth. Press down through the front foot as you rise up. Straighten the front leg and windmill, arms out wide. Look toward the front fingertips. And when you're ready, active core, lift your heart and windmill down towards the front leg. For me, it's the right leg this time. And just get to wherever you get to. It doesn't have to be your deepest pose. Your gaze can look out in the direction of your heart, or you could challenge yourself and look up toward the ceiling. That will challenge your balance. Just meet your body where it's at and breathe here. Triangle pose. And then lift up to come out of the pose. Bend the front knee, pivot onto the ball of the back foot. Left arm meets front arm. Exhale down to frame the front foot. Press off back foot to join the front foot. You're in your forward fold. Take an extra breath here. You could bend both knees and then add some length. Point the crown of the head down. And now pull your belly to the spine. Activate as you inhale, arms out wide and up high. Look a bird Vastasana, hands touch. Exhale, release, and let it go. We'll do two poses just to help us transition into restorative pose. The first one is Badakanasana, the wide-legged forward fold. It's a nice transition after our vinyasa and after lateral poses. Step wide, feet parallel. Use your bent wrists as a gauge. That's about as far apart as you can stand and stay balanced, or you could bring them within that. Let's hinge at the hips instead of bending at the waist. So maybe hands at the hip crease. Inhale, lift up through the heart. Exhale, keep the spine nice and long as you bow forward. When the spine becomes parallel to the ground, look down and stop the bending. Hands come underneath the shoulders and just feel how steady you are here. If you have any tightness in the groins, in low back, anywhere really, you could place a prop underneath here rather than come all the way down to the ground. Now I just invite you to reach over towards the right foot, right ankle, just as much as you can get to. Come back to center. Hands go over for a little side stretch towards the left foot, left ankle. And then release, come back to center. Hands to the hip crease, bend the knees, and press, lift up. Heel toe, bring it in. Let it go. Breathe it all in. And now I want to come down to the ground in Malasana. And Malasana is it really varies for each person, but it's feet wider than your hips, heels in, toes out, and we'll come into a squat. And this I'd also like you to remember in terms of the position of the body, because we'll do this in a variation of a restorative pose. This is Malasana. Hands at your heart, and exhale, bend the knees. The knees point out with the toes, and you lower as far as you can. And if your body stops you from going this low, then you stop where your body tells you to stop, and you breathe. Hands forward, one knee down, other knee down. All right, so we're moving into our restorative. And so I'm on a carpeted floor. And that's all I really have at my house. But it's more ideal for you to do yoga on a hard surface with your mat. In which case, I just want you to, either way, Put a blanket down. We're going to do a lot of variation of legs up the wall, which is a great restorative pose. So to come into the legs up the wall, it's a mission, but it's worth the effort. You have your hip flush with the wall. You come very close to it. And then I'll get you to lean back on your elbows and swing your legs up. So if you watch, or if you've already done it, then you'll know what to do. But it's just that I want you to bring the sit bones closer to the wall. So in order to do that, you have to lift your weight up on your elbows and just inchworm your body. There'll be a lot of inchworming tonight if you're like me and you're on carpet. All right, so once you get there, if there is, you do want the sit bones touching the wall. And if you get there and you find that's too tight on hamstrings, then go ahead and come back out. Just scoot your rear end back out, whatever it takes to have some release in the hamstrings if those muscles are too tight. If it's okay, then it's a 90-degree bend and in the hips. Now let your heels rest on the wall. The heels are holding the weight of the legs. Your hands can go wherever it feels good to you. Traditionally, they are off to the side, palms facing up. And you just settle in. You tune into your breath, really only for the purpose of allowing it to calm you down, to slow you down, to really tune into that rhythm. You're not trying to control the breath. You're really practicing observing it. And at the same time, practice being the observer of your thoughts. Not that you're drawn into them, rather you're witnessing them. Try to think of restorative poses as it's about release rather than an opening or a stretch. So yes, we put your body in different positions and hold you there. So it can open, it can have the effect of opening muscles or joints. But the intention is for you to feel heavy in your body, to let go of muscle engagement, to find a way and a position for your body to be held that you can truly release into. And this is a great pose to do on its own before you go to bed. Let your hips be heavy. See if you can feel your low back really fill into the mat with each exhale. See if you can just sink into the earth. Excuse me. And drop from your head into your heart. And I'm going to invite you to bend your knees and bring the soles of the feet to touch, to come into a version of Supta or supported Supta Badakanasana. So you decide how deep to bend the knees, what feels right for you. Let your hands gently touch your inner knees, just to encourage that hip opening. Find a place where you can stay. You can feel free to adjust it at any point in this restorative pose. If you hold it here for a minute or so and you say, I've had enough, then you can put those legs straight back up the wall. Tailor this practice, make it your own. Be curious, be willing to try these poses. And then if it's not right for you, then you edit, adjust, adapt. An offering is to change the position of your arms here, to try and see how it feels. Put the arms overhead. Once you've done that, also then allow the weight of the arms to be held by the earth. You could change it to goddess pose with elbows bent, or you could just have the arms out at a T, or back by your hips. Really just tune in and experiment and find what works for you. Try to lengthen the back of your neck by reaching the crown of your head away from the wall. Push into your shoulder blades. Push into your hips. You can add a little tension to the outside edges of your feet to push that the feet into the wall, if that helps support this hip opening. Push down through your upper shoulders if you have lifted your arms up overhead. Just to allow the spread of your upper back to support this opening. Reconnect with your breath. And now let's move into a different variation by extending your legs long and then taking the legs out wide. Let your heels rest on the wall. You choose how big is that V. Trying to think, what can you hold for a little bit? If in holding this pose, your body says that's enough, then listen to your body and just bring your legs back up parallel to the position that we began in. You might try a different arm position. Push into the back of your head and see if you can try to lengthen the back of your neck. And now lift the crown of the head away from the wall. Allow the heels to help hold the weight of the legs in this opening. And now let your hands come to the outer thighs as you lightly bend your knees and your hands bring your legs in. With heels resting on the wall, just bend your knee one at a time and then pedal your feet. Maybe turn them side to side and bring them in. Knees to the chest, wrap your arms around the thighs and rock back and forth. Now extend your right leg long. Heel rests on the wall. And with this left knee still bent, bring the left ankle on top of the right knee for this figure 4 hip opener. So first just press, left hand presses left knee away. Let both hips be supported on the ground. And then you might stay like this. This might be plenty. If you want to add to it, to deepen the hip opener, then you bend the right knee and you bring the sole of the right foot to touch the wall, and it becomes a deeper hip opener. So just tune in. I want you to think about this as a release rather than a stretch. So if that's already too much, then loosen that right leg. You might find if you sit here for a little bit that this left hip will open. Try to let both hips be heavy and releasing into the ground rather than tilting or popping up. And with each exhale, see if you can't settle in a little bit more. Be heavy in your body. And if you have the flexibility and it feels good to you, then you don't hesitate to draw the right sole of the foot down the wall and deepen this hip opening. You won't know until you try, and then you can always loosen up. Breathe into your low back. And an inhale, your belly inflates, and on an exhale, your belly draws back down toward the spine. One more breath here. Breath cycles, full inhale and a full exhale. Extend the right leg long and uncross the left leg. Find a little release. Bend the knees, pedal the feet, pull the legs in if it feels good for you. Rock if it feels good. As you know, we'll be preparing to do the other side. To do the other side, the left leg is long and heel is on the wall. Bend the right knee and place the right ankle on top of the left knee. And just use your right hand initially to press the right knee away from you and just feel that. If that's enough for your hips, then that's where you stay. Without any tension, you release that hand. If you have more capacity to open the hips, then you bend the left leg and place the left sole of the foot on the wall. And you tune in, remembering if that really twerked your body, then maybe loosen up a little. We want both back hips on the ground. We want your hips to be heavy. We want you to really release the weight of the hips evenly balanced into the mat. And you know that once you begin this, after you sit here for a minute, you might have some more capacity to bring this anchor leg, the sole of the foot, a little closer to the left hip, left sit bone. Just tune in and breathe. Each side of the body might be different. So let go of expectations and really encourage an attitude of acceptance. Feel free to tighten this pose by bringing the sole of the foot down the wall, or to loosen it as we hold. Tune into where your back is touching the ground, your back hips, your back shoulders. Feel the rectangle of the spine be supported. To come out of this pose, lengthen that left leg. Let the right leg come alongside of it. And just have a little gentle windshield wipers left and right. Now bring the feet into Malasana. Can you remember that when the squat, we were transitioning to our restorative poses? Your feet are wider than your hips, heels in, toes out. Hands can be on your knees, or they can be at your side. Just tune in to how this feels without your weight. Same hip opening, but you're not having to sustain your weight. We're only holding this briefly before we transition to our next pose. Now, if you are on hardwood floor and on your soft blanket, then you could just press your feet into the wall to extend your body away from the wall. And I want you to stop when your legs are long, but your soles of your feet can still touch the wall. So I'm on carpet, that won't work. So I'm just going to roll to one side and extend so that I can lengthen through my legs. Soles of the feet still touching the wall. And now we're going to bring in that triangle pose. So we did the triangle pose as part of our vinyasa. Now we're going to do it supported as a restorative pose. So take your feet wide and let the left toes point up to the ceiling, and let the right foot toes turn out 90 degrees. And I want both feet touching the wall so that you have that support. Press into the wall so you can really feel that support. Take your arms out to a T, and then, like triangle pose, we're going to do a side bend down to this right leg. All right, so if you're on your blanket, then you can just slide to the right. I'm on a carpet, so I have to inchworm my way over. And think of it as a side bend. And your right hand does not need to touch your shin. You're just going over as far as you can. You can keep wiggling and adjusting. If you stay here for a minute and you feel you have more capacity, feel free to deepen the pose. I want you to think about creating some space on the right side of your body, the part that's contracted. And then I'd like you to think of just rolling the left side of your body down to the earth. So if it's popped up or if juxtapositions have happened, try to loosen it a little, give in a little. If this is too tight, you could bring your feet a little, your legs a little closer together. If this side bend is too much, you can lessen it. Adjust, readjust, and readjust again until you find the right place. Try to keep those arms, directly out of their shoulders, so at a T. Now look down towards your right fingertips, and then eventually look up towards your left fingertips, and I encourage you to stay here if that's all right with your neck. Press your feet into the wall. Let the feet give you some support to help this opening in your torso, in your hips, on each side of the body. And then let go. Let your body be heavy. Let your muscles release. Be soft on the bone. And let go of the tension of your feet pressing into the wall. Feel free to change the position of your head and neck. To come out of this pose, turn your head to face back up to the ceiling. And if you're on hardwood floors and on your blanket, then you can just slide your body back up into alignment as we prepare to switch sides. So point both feet up towards the ceiling, and then just turn the left foot 90 degrees opposite direction. Arms out to a T, and then it's a side bend to the left now. If you're on carpet like me, you have to inchworm your spine over for that side bend. If you're on a hardwood floor, you should just be able to slide on your blanket. And just tune in. First, get the pose. So press your feet into the wall, and the legs are straight. And then it's a side bend down towards that left leg. And you want to create some space now on the left side of your body that you are contracting. That's a challenge to create the space there while you're contracting it. And then let the right side of your body roll down to be supported by the earth. Check in with those arms. They're to remain coming directly out of your shoulders. And first look down to your left fingers. And then I invite you to look up toward the right fingers and stay there. Always respecting, though, what your head and neck prefer. Come out of that and take your head and neck in whatever position feels best for you if this is not good. take in the sounds that you hear. These are the sounds, and yoga is a formal practice where we tend to have all the conditions that assist us, but daily life is what we train for, um, and so we work with whatever comes our way. We don't let it disturb us. We take it in, we label it. It is what it is, and you come back to where you are, which is opening into this supported triangle pose. Try to keep both hips on the ground, feeling both shoulder blades flat on the ground. Deepening it as it works for you or softening it as it works for you. Bring your head back to center and then bring your spine back in alignment, your head. Now, bend your knees. And we are preparing to transition to our final pose of Shavasana. Before you do so, I just invite you to take your feet wider than your hips and just let the knees fall to one side. We call this windshield wipers. Knees up to center, knees fall to the other side. It's just a very gentle twist in the spine. And you can do that a couple times, side to side. Maybe look away from the direction the knees are falling. And then as you're ready, you can stay where you're at if you have the room and extend your legs long, or you can readjust and bring your body to lie on your mat. Let your legs go long and your heels walk out wide, feet flop open. Traditionally, arms are about a foot away from your body with palms facing up. And enjoy Shavasana. I share that quote, meet yourself in the quiet and breathe yourself full again. Invite your breath to deepen. Bringing your awareness back into your body as you invite small movement of the fingers, the wrists, toes, and ankles. Gently invite your head to turn one way and then the other. And when it's right for you, allow your body to move in whatever way feels good. Whether that's growing large and stretching long, or curling in, bringing your knees to your chest and rocking, or both. Eventually bend your knees and roll to one side. Just pause there a moment, lingering here. Just tune into how you feel. And you brought your body into this state. It's accessible. And put a bookmark here. Remember that some of these poses, even if it's just one, where your body really said yes to. And then eventually press up with your hand and an elbow and bring yourself upright. Keep your attention inward with your eyes lowered or closed. And bring your hands to meet in Anjali Mudra right at your center, at your heart. Bow your head to your heart. Call to mind your intention. And take that intention with you off of the mat into your life. Write it down on a piece of paper, write it down on a sticky note, and put it